Hi everybody, it's Carla from Casey Creates, and I thought maybe I'd show you what I've been up to in the way of crafting in the last week or two. It's been a little while since I made a video, and mostly because I haven't been doing my original kind of, well, I shouldn't say original, but you know, paper crafting and fabric crafting, because some of you know that I get ready for the annual holiday sale around this time of year. And so today it's all about clay, because my main job is I'm an art teacher and I teach ceramic arts, and I do my own work as well. And so I wanted to show you what I've been creating if you're interested in the clay side of things. One of my favorite things to create out of clay are rolled coils, and I often roll my coils and weave them into different forms. And I started doing this back in college many years ago. I just love baskets, and I always thought there's got to be a way to make baskets out of clay. And since then, there's been beautiful basket forms created by many artists all over the world out of clay. So I like to roll my coils by hand, as you can see here. And see, I get so engrossed, I just start rolling, and this was not the purpose to roll a skinny one. I actually need a slightly thicker one, because one of the forms that I like to make this time of year are leaf dishes. And before I go any further, let me just say thank you for joining me, and thank you to my new subscribers, and thank you to those who've been following me for a while. I really appreciate all of you and your kind comments, and I hope you're well, and I am sending you well wishes. So this is going to be a stem, and I just take my serrated rib, this is called a metal rib, and I score it and then give it a little twist, and then that ends up being the stem on my leaf dish. So what is my leaf dish, you might say? I'll show you here. One of another favorite things is, ever since my boys were little, every year we go on a leaf hunt. My favorite leaf to make dishes out of are sycamore leaves, but I do think every few years something happens to the trees, because I was having trouble finding big ones. You can find them larger than your face sometimes, and then the ones I do find are quite eaten up. But I'm going to show you, if you'd like to see, how I make one of my leaf dishes. See if I can, let's just use this. Which one's bigger? I think we'll use this one, even though it's not that big. I think I can get it on the camera better. And then I may need to change my my stem. I might need to make different. So I've rolled out a slab, and I'm just going to roll it a little bit more. This is just a little hand brayer, and the clay I'm using is a mixture of all different cone 5-6, which is a high fire, or I'd say mid-range firing temperature, because where I work at the studio, we recycle our clay. I'm trying to find my rib to press it. Oh, well, this is one I made. Did you know you could make a rib out of just a piece of stiff plastic from like the lid of a plastic container? And this slab isn't perfect, but that's okay, because I don't need the whole thing. I have a feeling my dog's about to start barking, so forgive me if he does. Okay, so I've compressed it just by smoothing it with my metal rib. I like to use my hand sometimes too, though. And then I take my leaf. I like to snip the stem off because it's kind of thick, and if I don't, it'll cut through. And then I just roll it into the clay. And if it wrinkles a little, that's okay, because it just looks more like the veining on the leaf. And then I take my needle tool, or in this case I'll just use my knife, and trace around the leaf. So I've been in the making process right now. Most everything is drying to what we call greenware, which means once it's dry and greenware, I can bisque fire it the first time, and then glazing, which never is my favorite part. I like the making part better than the glazing part. If you work with clay, you tell me, do you like glazing or do you like making, or maybe you like both? The thing about glazing, a lot of people think it's like painting, but the medium is quite different than paint. Even though I think people who really enjoy painting can envision their pieces a little better with the glaze on it. So now I was just tapering the edges and making sure they're not really sharp. The cutting can make them kind of jagged, and this is already a real pointy leaf, so I'm going to make it a little bit tapered, and then I just kind of turn it over and check it out, and look what I make it on. So I have one here, I'll show you. I line up these bowls with a balloon, and then it allows me to make several at a time. And I'm sorry the angle's not that great, but you basically put the clay on top and mold it. So I have one here that's been sitting and firming up, and here's the one I just did. Let's move it back a little so you can see, up. So I just kind of center it and shape it. And so I'll line up like 3 or 4 like this, and once it's firm enough, then I put the foot on. So I'm going to move this one, and once it firms up, then I put on the foot on the back. And let's see, what did I do with my little I like to take a coil and score it and then put it on, and then I take the curved edge of my wooden knife and smooth out any of the score marks that might be visible, just for craftsmanship reasons. Now, you might think those score marks would be rough, but they aren't. They tend to stay nice and smooth, so they won't scratch the surface of your hold on one second. They won't scratch the surface of your table. So this one's been sitting up, and now it's leather hard, and once it's leather hard, you can peel the leaf off. I tend to leave the leaf for a while just so it won't I won't ruin the vein lines, but when it's time to add the stem, I just peel back some of it, enough to get to the part where I want to add the stem. And I will say, I had to do a commission job where I had to make over 100 leaf dishes, and at some point I even was able to peel the leaves off nice enough to reuse them because I had to just keep pressing and cutting and rolling and cutting, and I started running out of leaves. So for the sake of showing you, I'm going to peel the whole leaf off. It's nice and leather hard, so I don't think I'll ruin the veining. But there's the leaf, and then there's the beautiful veining that you get. And then here's my stem that I made a little bit ago. And then I just score and slip it on. This is my little scoring tool here. And then I use some slip, which is basically, in this case, just a little murky clay water. And usually apply it with a brush. Get my little crumbs out of the way. And then because this isn't really leather hard yet, I don't really have to add much. I'll just add enough till it's shiny. And then I just attach the stem. And this is my little stylized stem that I like to add. Just kind of curve it. If I press the lines out, I just go over them again with my serrated metal rib. But that's how I make my sycamore leaf dish. And then when it gets even a little more firm, I'll take a sponge and just go around the edges and soften them and make sure there's no jagged edges or crumbs. And then I do actually enjoy glazing these. So maybe I can come back and show you the glazing process, and if not the glaze process, I'll at least come back and show you them when they're finished and ready for the sale. I make all shapes and sizes and then glaze them. I kind of keep them all in one color palette just so it looks more cohesive in the sale. But that's how I make my leaf dish. I thought I would show you. I'm going to do another quick video and show you some of the finished projects I've been working on. Thanks for watching. Maybe you can give it a try. These do work actually with air dry clay too. Bye for now.